Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. You're welcome to our marriage series. I am Sanusi Lafiagi. Today, I want to talk about one of the most fundamental issues when it comes to marriage, and that is the choice of spouse. In my experience as a counselor speaking to young people, be it in the pre-marital or post-marital counseling sessions, I've come to realize that this area is one pitfall that many people failed to avoid. In Islam, the Prophet ﷺ has taught us that in making the choice of our life partner, we must prioritize religion. He said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Tunkahul mar'atu li'arba'in. A woman is married for 4 reasons. The ulama said the hadith also works conversely. A man is also married for 4 reasons. So we basically seek after our life partner on these 4 parameters. And Prophet Sallallahu prioritize religion. There is the issue of beauty, the issue of wealth, and the issue of lineage. But in most cases, when you ask young people, what exactly do you want? You find them going spiritual mode. I want a woman that is half devoted to the Quran, that uses hijab or uses niqab, that can recite the Quran with all the different riwayat, that observes qiyamul layl, siyamul nahar. All these spiritual qualities, yes, they are very important for us to consider when making a choice of our spouse. You also find young women also saying, I want a man that is handsome, that has money, that is caring. Naturally, women go for those things. But then let's be factual with ourselves. Um, are these young people really telling us the truth? Because a few months or years into the marriage, you realize that some of the issues that crop up later are fundamental issues that ought to have been resolved prior to the marriage. So let's ask the question, what really do you want in your spouse? You see a brother, mashallah, brother, he has beard, his trousers is above the ankle, and you ask him, what do you want? And he goes spiritual, like I mentioned earlier. But deep down in his heart, what he wants is actually a Kim Kardashian in hijab. He wants a woman with a figure eight, with a backside or front side that has this particular size, among other things. You also see a sister that will say, no, I just want a brother that is caring, that has money. But deep down in her heart, she wants a brother with a pointed nose, with curly hair, among other things. So this question needs to be answered sincerely if truly we want to have a happy marriage life. When it comes to making the choice of a spouse, you are not choosing a spouse solely for yourself alone. You're also choosing a spouse for your children. So you need to juxtapose these two situations, these two interests, your own personal interest and the interest of your children. Because the choice of your spouse determines to some extent the kind of children you would birth and raise. Um, and so, when it comes to this issue, we must be very careful. It's a very delicate aspect. But I admonish brothers and sisters to be sincere. If you have physical qualities that you want in your spouse, please mention them. I want a man that is averagely tall, that is fair in complexion, that has huge beard or that has slight beard, that has curly hair, that has pointed nose, that has tiny eyes, whatever it is you want. No problem, mention it. There are men, thousands of men out there that satisfy your condition. If you also have, as a man, you have your qualities in a woman, physical qualities, please mention them as many as you can. There are millions of women out there that satisfy those conditions. And if it is about money, if you want a man that is rich, please mention it. I want Dangote's son. I want a man that has millions or billions in his account. I want a man that will be taking me on free Umrah trip every year, that will be going to vacation on UAE. So, these things are, at the long run, these are the things that affect our relationship in marriage. So why not just spit it out? Or I have a friend, Kabir Asfar, that used to say, I know it's a joke, that he wants Dangote's daughter. There is nothing wrong if it is an aspiration, if it is a dream. Marrying Dangote's daughter, well, I hope it puts money in your account, but then it gives you that high level in society. You probably may have money, even though your wife's money is her money, but at least once in a while now, you two go flex. So it's a normal thing. But let us always be sincere with ourselves. Whatever qualities, whatever characteristics you want in a woman, in a man, aside religiosity is basic. It's a basic thing. Every Muslim man must be, obedient to Allah. He must observe the obligatory duties and must not be lax in observing the religious duties. Ditto for a woman. But yes, we understand this religious aspect. Now, let's put it aside. Let's talk about other things, the finance, the physical attributes, the mental attributes, among other things. So we need to be expressive. Young men and women must be expressive when it comes to making the choice of their spouse. Spit it out. Speak out your mind. Do not be shy. Nobody is going to kill you for saying you want a sister that has figure eight, that has huge hips, for example, or that has that is strongly built, or that is uh, independent. She's making money for herself. Nobody is going to kill you for that if that is what you want. If that is what you want, just say it. Women are not shy of saying these things when it comes to making their choice. But then, sometimes maybe the societal pressure to marry. Some people think, well, going past the age of marriage, so I just need anybody to settle down with. Marriage is not like a black market. Oh. You must be sure of what you want to buy. Get the label right, get the price right. So buy what you want. Don't buy what you manage. In marriage, there is no manage, because after 2, 3 years, when you begin to have children, for instance, some things will begin to fade. And that's what Almighty Allah says in the Quran, that the foundations upon which marriage is built are two: mawadda, love, and rahma, mercy. So وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. So sometimes love fades. In fact, love may even go from count 100 to zero. But then what about rahma? Rahma has to be constant. That the mercy, you must show each other mercy and compassion. So let us be expressive in what we want: the physical qualities, the intellectual qualities, the financial qualities, among other things. Whatever it is you want, please just say it. Don't be shy. So, because at the end of the day, these are the things that will make our marriage, to work out. I mentioned earlier that we'll also make choice of our spouse for our children. Yes, because like Almighty Allah did say in the Quran, al-khabithatu lil-khabithin, wal-khabithuna lil-khabithat, wa-tayyibatu lil-tayyibin, wa-tayyibuna lil-tayyibat. So, righteous men are for righteous women, and righteous women are for righteous men. And children are like the seed that we plant. One day they will germinate, and the seed, whatever germinate from the seed, will take after that seed. um like my people in Nope will say, ejo mai ejumai wa kunya. So it is whatever you sow that you reap. So when you make the choice of a righteous woman or a righteous man, there is the likelihood that the children will turn out, inshallah, righteous. Almighty Allah did say, "Wal tayyibu yakhruju nabatuhu bi idhni rabbih, walladhi khabutha la yakhruju illa nakida." So when the land is good, it brings forth a good fruit. But when the land is bad, then the fruits are likely to be bad. So your children are the fruits of your seed. So plant your seed in the appropriate place so that it will germinate well. But like I did mention earlier, be expressive. Whatever you want, be expressive. Religiosity should be the base. It should be the base requirement. That is the foundation. But then there are other things that attract a woman or a man to us beyond being religious. The duty aspect is there, responsibility aspect is there, among other things. Ask the right questions. Many people think that love trumps all. So even the issue of medical compatibility, some people take it with levity. At the end of the day, it creates a big problem. So before you get married to anybody, please try to get the medical compatibility report. Like we're talking about the genotype, the blood type, among other things. Some people go for fertility tests. Well, uh, personally, I think this may not be be so relevant, so required. Why? Because the issue of fertility is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even if somebody has 100% fertility positive, that he or she will have children is determined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So, but the basic ones are things like the genotype, the blood group. In fact, if one has feelings that this other person has temper issues, or behaves in a manner that is unnatural, there is nothing wrong in going for mental test, or you call it psychiatric test. So whatever is needed to be done should be done before making the decision that this is the person I want to settle down with. And as far as Islam is concerned, zina is not an option. Zina is not an option to test fertility of a man or a woman, or to test sexual habitude of anybody. No, Islam does not condone such nonsense. So, but we're talking about the permissible things that we should look at before we make the final decision of who to settle down with. So, on to the next series. My name is Sanusi Lafiagi, and you are welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you. How many minutes?